The Division had the potential to be the closest thing we've had to I Am Legend, the video game. With a little bit of Day After Tomorrow in there too. A little bit of Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal's ever hurt anyone. Every hot new game that comes out starts with a large player base and then gradually goes down, but The Division dropped harder than a brick thrown by Macaulay Culkin off a New York City rooftop. It got pretty decent reviews, a lot of comparisons to Destiny and other here's some shit games, as my friend Cameron calls them. Here's some shit, basically meaning that the gameplay loop revolves around fighting enemies over and over to get better stat-based weapons and gear to fight then even harder enemies. But since you and the enemies are both getting stronger, it all ends up being relative anyway, and it's really just an excuse to dump a bunch of time into a grind session. Not that kind of grind session, though. It's just a shame that other than shooting guys and taking cover behind stuff, there's not a lot of ways to interact. You don't really get to interact with the amazing open world setting of NYC in a lot of meaningful ways. It's gorgeous, it's got verticality, it's got a Rockstar Games level of detail in the streets, it's got snow prettier than Claire Bear riding through the snow on a snowmobile in Nickelodeon Snow Day. But I like zebras! But here's the thing, a lot of gameplay qualities that I wanted out of The Division were realized in the game's survival mode DLC. Survival is amazing because it basically condenses the entire grind session of The Division down into an intense 1 hour permadeath experience. You start with nothing and have to make your way into the dark zone and extract with a cure for a virus that is slowly eating away at you, realized in-game as a timer. How fun. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock clock. There's a constant snowstorm, so you have to use fire to keep warm or find warmer clothes like jackets and sweaters to keep warm, giving purpose to the game's typically cosmetic clothing. Sidebar, this is cool as fuck. There's backpacks, coolers, and other containers scattered around the map that hold valuable supplies like medicine that'll halt your infection. The nooks and crannies of the map, like apartment buildings, fire escapes, and subway stations, now have actual meaning and incentive to be explored. They're not just a place to fight dudes anymore, they're a place to seek refuge from the storm, possibly containing valuable supplies that can save your life. Being on the verge of freezing to death and just barely making it to a fire barrel feels cozier than watching while you were sleeping with your family by a fireplace with a cinnamon roll in your mouth. Essentially, when you have something to lose, when death means starting over and enemies actually pose a very real and scary threat, the game world suddenly has a lot more weight to it. Also, the soundtrack in survival mode is better than Hilary Duff's Metamorphosis, and that is saying a thing or two. So now imagine if the entirety of The Division was designed with more of this post-apocalyptic survival gameplay in mind. You could keep a lot of the same features that are already in the base game in the survival DLC, replace the bullet sponge enemies with packs of freaky white dudes a la I Am Legend that are weak, but fast and aggressive as hell, making them actually fun to fight. Left 4 Dead, anyone? Add a little bit of S&P, a little bit of paprika, and bada boom, bada bing, Peter Pan, Stephen King. So the idea I liked for an objective in my imaginary version of The Division is this. Similar to survival mode, you have to collect something before you can extract out the map. But to make a full game out of that, maybe there's like 10 different things scattered around the map that you have to collect. Replace the permadeath style with the save point style, but there's a catch. You have to use some of your valuable survival supplies to craft a save point. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this? It's fun. Video games, whoa! It could be the interesting decision of, okay, do I use a bunch of my valuable supplies and craft a save point now, just to play it safe, or do I just make a med pack and maybe a Molotov and keep pushing on, hoping that I'll find more supplies to make a save point so that I don't potentially bone myself by making a save point when there's a bunch of hard shit in front of me. You see where I'm going? It's called gambling, huh? Secondly, if the enemies are I Am Legend status, that means they're not the biggest fans of old vitamin D. So exploring the city during the day is a breeze. It's fine, it's whatever, who cares? But when you need to explore some buildings for some valuable supplies or travel at night, that's when things get spooky. Third, let's take that crafting system a step further. The New York setting is primed and lubed for interesting gameplay mechanics like making a temporary safe haven camp at night if you're not trying to fight the Vin Diesels, setting traps for enemies using the scent of your own blood and potentially boning yourself on accident, siphoning gas from all the abandoned cars in Times Square to make Molotov cocktails or to craft your own fires to keep warm. Imagine fighting a pack of freaky zombie fucks in the completely dark subway tunnels using only the light of a flashlight that you crafted and chose to duct tape on the end of your rifle. Hey, GameStop, it's me. Yeah, gonna go ahead and need 20 pre-order copies on that game. But you wanna know what I really want after playing Breath of the Wild so goddamn much? this shouldn't be any surprise to any of you. I want to craft a grappling hook so I can climb up the side of some of those goddamn skyscrapers. I mean, alright, I get that this lady isn't exactly Peter Parker, but imagine climbing up the side of one of these bad boys, breaking a window, climbing into an office building, making a fire, making a little safe haven, watching the snow-covered Big Apple from 70 floors up. Hey, GameStop, it's me again. Yeah, no, actually, I'm gonna need like 60 copies of the game. No, I still don't. No, I'm not no, I don't want to pre-order the next Madden. No, I don't want this season. Have a fucking dog sidekick. Put down the phone. You don't need to call your eye doctor and make sure you're seeing this correctly. There are already dogs in the Division. I wonder if I'll want to kill myself when this one dies too. So to recap, here's my proposition for the Division 2 : I Am Legend Snow Day. Make it spookier with enemies that aren't bullet sponges but are fast and actually fun to fight, Left 4 Dead style. Dive further into the survival aspect, make that style of intense, isolating gameplay the core focus instead of just post-mortem DLC. Let me craft more stuff and be creative with traps. And let me climb those goddamn skyscrapers. I just want to climb stuff, alright? You may have noticed that a lot of the ideas in this video are similar to those in the If Movies Were Games 28 Days Later video I made, and that's because this is the type of game that nobody has gotten quite right. But I dream of it every night. Yes, I've played Dying Light. It still don't feel very tight. Good night, and dog bless. Uh-oh, everybody, looks like Santa's here and he's got the naughty list on his laptop. Ho, 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 let's see who's on the naughty list this year. It looks like we have Connor, Goober Boy Glassglow, very naughty. Anastasia Ross and Sam, aka Mr. 60 frames per second. I wonder how we got that name. Naughty boy. Chemo the Dreamboat, Blue Ball Johnny, Jason, a piece of fruit story. I hope he's a banana. Will Woot, Blake, mother effing Campbell. Oh, that's quite naughty. Burry, Big Dick Chambers. Mr. Flamingo, MMCL. I wonder what that stands for. Mighty Cat Liquor. Caleb Scissorfist Kisswiss. He's probably naughty with a name like that. No one can say that. Cal Powers. Arjun Stouts Just Jiddick. Again, a naughty last name. Julio Garcia. Leo Shanks. Ricka Loft. Emerald Plum. Based God. Ken Hoffman. Oscar Gomez, and Tom Ireland, aka Noodleman. Also, Santa has a very special message from a young boy named Leon that he wanted Santa to deliver. It says, quote, "Hey Stevie, he is learning a new language. Yes, you heard right. Colon, parenthesis, end quote." Alright, that's all for today, kids. Santa needs to go drink some gin and watch Snow Day. Ho ho ho! God damn it.